First of all, a warm welcome, Dr. Mangesh sir, once more for having joined,
Thank you,
given
sir.
the time and joining us to address the students. It's definitely an important time for all the students, and there are a lot of placement activities and campus recruitments happening. And it would be an apt time to actually for you to share about what exactly the corporate looks for in a fresher or a student of management. And students, very warm welcome to you also. Today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. R.K.S. Mangesh Das. So, to talk about him briefly, I would just say he has 20 years, 26 years plus of experience as an OD consultant, a motivational speaker, a corporate trainer, coach, psychotherapist, and professor in management also. He possesses a PhD degree in stress management and MPhil and master's degree in PMIR. He has pursued quality improvement programs for institutes like XLRI, IIT, KGP, and MDI. And he's an MTC trainer and a master practitioner in NLP from ANLP India. At present, he is an advisor and co-founder of Twaran and president, also a president of CHDNLR and a vice president at NLP India. He has held almost a lot of senior positions prior to working in corporate training, HR and OD. He has had 7 years plus of experience in senior positions across different corporates. And he's also a former director of a leading business school in India. To talk about some of his awards, he has been awarded an IPM SB Mishra Gold Medal Award for his excellence in HR, and also he was awarded with second best research paper, which was presented in Indian Society for Training and Development Conference. So talking about, we have already talked about his education, etc. And he has FDP also. Apart from that, he has also done his FDP from XLRI and ERP from MDI in Gurgaon and SATM from IIT Kharagpur. So he is a certified psychometric assessor. So I mean, just listen to him what he talks about in what corporates look after during interviews and other things. So not going further into it, sir, once again, a very warm welcome to you. And the session is now yours, sir. The topic for today is expectations from corporates and in terms of what they look at into the students, campus to corporates. So warm welcome to you, sir, as well as warm welcome to all the esteemed guests over here and the students present. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
over to
very
you.
much, sir. And for such an opportunity to talk to all the young students here. First of all, I'm not in a business formals because I've just come to Bhubaneswar, which is not my professional location. My professional location is Mumbai. So I had just come for some holidaying. And when I got this opportunity to speak to you, I thought, even if my dress code is not okay, but my mind code is really okay, definitely to talk to all of you about this interesting concept of soft skills, particularly from the view of industry expectations. You know, this story about soft skills or having something as a professional acumen where industries will be taking you as management students. It actually began in the year in which you have not taken birth. And yes, definitely, I had taken birth. This year is 1992, when something different that happened to the economy of India and that actually percolated to the whole globe as India started proving its power as superpower. And what happens over there? I will be taking you through a small presentation, in fact, to give you a backup information to it goes. So when you say like we are going for an industry, 1992, a small change happened. And all of you know what actually happened to India. So India suddenly experienced a latest, lowest growth in economy. Business slowdowns happened. Closure of industries started happening, and unemployed professionals they became More, I have seen a lot of engineering where people, when they got the job, sorry, they got the qualification, they didn't get the job. That's why they actually went against the government. They started, putting dharnas, revolting, and all, something actually had happened to India during that time. And the economic dependence of women was less, and people had not a very, you know, good lifestyle. And then something has happened. We call it LPG. I hope all of you know this term LPG, right? So, what I'm going to do when we are talking, let us make this as a very interactive one. Whenever I'm going to ask you a question, you got to answer me. Either you can unmute or you can type on the chat window. Both are okay with me. And I know that the students of Bhavan are really amazing because I have seen the students of earlier batch, and I know every year the students, the better students, they come as compared to the previous one, and you guys are just amazing. So, who can tell me what happened I mean, what is the full form of LPG? I know all of you just can tell me, but one of you,
Privatization,
sorry,
liberalization,
yes,
privatization, and globalization.
amazing, and thank you very much, Rachita, for this answer. Okay, I feel so good, when students they do give the answer. So, I tell you, during our time when liberalization, privatization, globalization happened, companies who are not able to come to India, they could come to India and they had our business. And they had our business over here. And we call that a word has been used, coined, which is called as MNC. We say multinational companies, right? All of you know the full form of MNC, right? Right? Isn't it? Some yes in the chart window will also be doing. When I was a student in 1992-94, when I joined my management in Utkal University, I did a course which is called as PMIR, that's called Personnel Management and Industrial Relation. I joined in Utkal University in 1992. Interestingly, during that time, the full form of MNC was a multiple choice question. I remember even that time when I appeared for bank PO examinations, it was a question was there, what is the full form of MNC? And then they write, many national companies, multinational companies, something they write. And if I can choose a right answer, multinational companies, that means I have a very good awareness of the current affairs. It so happened in my class once, one professor who asked us a question, what is the full form of MNC? And you will not believe, it was, I remember it's 1992. It was during first month of our class, and none of us knew the answer. So how students they behave when the faculty asks a question and I do not know the answer? How do we behave? We just put our head down. So similarly, all of us we did put our head down because we didn't know the full form of MNC by the time. And one of our friend who is now working in a company in Orissa in HR, so he knew the answer. You know what he did? He raised the hand and we didn't know the answer. And all of us were feeling so bad because we are looking at him with all agony. We're saying, who asked you to raise the hand? Because he knew the answer. So he wanted to take an advantage in the class. He raised the hand, and we do not know. We didn't raise the hand. And you know what? The faculty started scolding all of us. He told you guys, you do not know anything. You are wasting the parents' money and all. You do not know this answer. And this boy who has raised the hand, he was looking with all happiness that we are getting grilled by the faculty. And then all of us are completely angry on this boy. Then the faculty asked him, these guys that do not know answer, now you tell me what is the answer. And you know what? This guy, he stood up and told us the full form of MNC is called Manmohan Singh, Narsinga Rao and Chidambaram. Now the scolding which was aimed at us, it all actually grilled him, and this boy was scolded left and right by the faculty member, and we felt good. But it is not like that. You know what happened? This aspect of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization, actually being facilitated by these three gentlemen, we say Dr. Manmohan Singh, Chidambaram, and Narasimhan, they actually, proposed this concept. So what happened? When LPG came up, what happened? Complete scenario of industries and education and academics, it changed. Because industries went sick. That's why it was being decided if we get it from an ownership of which is non-private ownership, if you give it a private ownership, what happens? Private ownership will never let the organization not to earn profit. So suddenly, Indian organization experienced something which is called as a change in the work culture. Because they say they want to earn profit. If they want to earn profit, what they want candidates who can join organization and should understand business. That's why business management came up to a great extent, right? Earlier we have seen during our time even, There is a corporate. The head of the corporate is not from a business background, maybe from some other, general, or maybe from an arts background. Maybe we have seen topper in Sanskrit become a head of a company. So like that, it was happening. But gradually, industries understood this will be okay if the person has a business knowledge. Without business knowledge, if a person leads an industry, the industry may not grow. That's a one thing that happened with privatization, is that the working culture got changed. Second thing, women workforce started working in the labor force, or women workforce, their economic independence became very high. I remember during our time, my mother, she was completely dependent on the father, for her income, for her earning. The father, whenever he has the mood, he gives money, and whenever he shows the anger, he can show the anger. If today, lady and a boy, they're married, and the boy says, hey, you have to lead the life the way I want, the lady will give a kick, will tell, okay, thank you very much. We are not going to go together, because something good that happened, women got power of economy because they participated in education, they participated in labor force, and the working class community, everything, actually the dynamics got changed. So that is another good thing that happened. Third, we say the whole globe become a village. I remember during our time, when a professor was coming for the class, and the professor says, I had gone to US, all of us say, oh my God, returned from US. Now if a professor comes and tells, I had gone to US, you will say, sir, or I have gone abroad, you will ask how many countries. If he says 3 countries or 4 countries, he has not seen the world. So if he says, you understand, because I have gone holidaying more than this. So you students, you might have gone to holidaying for more than the country, even people they have visited. That's why, what happened. The whole globe became a village. And this tremendously brought a complete change in the qualities which were being seen in candidates for employment. Earlier, it was those changes were not there. If I am a student, I'm the topper of the university or the topper of the institution, 80% of the companies, they were assuring me the job. I remember even our time, if he's a topper, he's a topper, he got the gold medal. In interview, I tell you, the person who was topper of our batch, we had gone to a company. I'm just not naming that company's name. In our interview, we have been asked questions from labor law, from finance, from every area. And you know what? That girl, what was the question being asked? Because she was the gold medalist. It was being asked, oh, you are the gold medalist. So what was your percentage? She told the percentage. Then, they didn't ask her any question. They asked, okay, you will be posted in Hyderabad. Do you think you will be comfortable in Hyderabad? Who will tell no at that moment when you are looking for a job? The company says, will you be comfortable in Hyderabad? Who will tell no? And when this girl came out, we asked what questions were being asked. He told no. They were just asking from my background, my family background, what my father did, and whether I will be comfortable in Hyderabad or not. 10-15 minutes interview is over, where we are being grilled for about half an hour and we didn't get the job. So what happens that moment, if they understand a person is topper, many questions were not being asked, or maybe they were asking very few questions. But now this doesn't happen. So today we say the best student of an institution or university may not get a job, but a person who is best fit to the company will get a job. I tell you, I was the dean of a business school in Bhubaneswar, which was believed to be a very good one. So there was a company which has come, and I am giving an example of 2005. In 2005, when they had come for campus to our institution, they were offering a salary of 5 lakhs, which was very decent in 2005. For campus hires, 5 lakhs was a very decent salary. And in that time, we had a student who childhood has been in abroad, and this guy was in our company, institution, and he was damn good. All of us believed that this student will get the job. And surprisingly, because he was the topper, he was the topper, and everything was good. Presentations, everything was good with the student. And we found the company didn't recruit to that person. And all of us are surprised. We asked, why did you not recruit this boy? Because this boy is our topper, the best student of our institution. He told the company HR, I'm just also not naming the HR head's name. He was from Hyderabad, from a company who manufactures cigarette. So like ITC, there was another company. So they had come and he told, we are not recruiting this boy because he may be best student of your institution, but he is not best fit to our company, because we are going to put this student in what is that place in Northeast. There is a location. They told we are going to put this person in Northeast, and this boy is not going to stay there. So all of us investment on this person and training and everything before even we make it a break even, the person will quit the job because he may get another job somewhere else and he will quit us. And then we realize companies what they're seeking for and what we believe that a student should make, there is a difference. So what I tell you, my dear friends, education makes you knowledgeable, educated, and so that you can apply the knowledge. And along with that, you would require something which is called as soft skills. Although these days we are not using the word soft skills anymore, because these days we're using a word called as behavioral competencies than the word called soft skills, because soft skills as a word came up very strongly during the year 1997, 98, and it was there hitting industry left and right. I think till 2005, 6, companies are coming and using this word soft skills many times. These days, they are saying, which is something called as the behavioral competencies, because when today companies are for conducting interviews, they are looking for competencies. I remember, since I'm a corporate trainer, we have been doing training program for a long time. I think with Dr. Subhendu Das, I can see he's here. With Dr. Subhendu Das company, when he was heading HR VP of a particular company, they have introduced this concept called as competency mapping to a great extent. And that moment, I was very happy to see one of the training program their company had conducted, and the nomenclature of the training program was leadership competencies. So I think, sir, it must be in the year 2008 or 9. I'm forgetting the year exactly, when Dr. Subhendu was heading this company. So I found the name of the training program, which was, they are mentioned as leadership competency. Then I had a friend who was working with sir. So I asked him, I told, I have heard about leadership skills. Why competences? Then I think at that time they have recently did a workshop with TV Rao's institution, Dr. TV Rao's institution, and told the concept of skills is now converted to competencies. And surprisingly, during that moment, when I went to other locations of India to conduct training programs, I see companies are no more talking about communication skills. Rather, they are talking about communication competencies. They're not talking about leadership skills. They're talking about leadership competencies. They're not talking about self skills. Rather, they're talking about self competencies. So this journey of transformation of skills to competencies is actually asking for certain qualities in each of you. And I tell you today, industries are even going beyond competencies. I will be talking about it little later. So today, what they're looking for is you as a professional student, do you have this professional acumen to actually have behaviors displayed in the industries? So I will be continuing with that presentation a bit, what it happened when we talk about, so I hope the slides are visible. Yes. So, what happened when we spoke about this LPC came up, all of you know about this is called liberalization, privatization, and globalization. What happened and why this word skills and competencies are playing the role is when we were passing our graduation or post graduation during that time, when job interviews were being conducted, companies what they're looking for people with most of the knowledge or percentage of marks. If I'm a topper, I'm not being asked many questions, okay, and very less question on skills and very lesser question on attitude was being asked. And during our time, the topper, somebody 75%, 76% means the person is really, really good. Today, if a person goes to industry and says, my percentage of marks is 75%, or I have secured 7.5 CGPA or whatever the score you are following, the industry will ask, are you not a good student? So during our time, 75 percentage was Didi percentage. But now, if somebody is going with the 75%, they say, okay, this student does not study more. Even 9.8, 9.7 is just many people they secure. So what happened? Complete industry actually saw a reverse dynamics. It was knowledge, skills, attitude. Then it suddenly changed to attitude, skills, and knowledge. What today industries they understand? Because the kind of training program companies they give, I have seen for a particular IT company, the C++ training they are giving to any of the engineers. The moment I saw their training dynamics, I told my dear friend, this is amazing. So industries understand knowledge can be imparted in their 7 days induction or onboarding program. But if the person doesn't have that attitude, maybe the person cannot actually be succeed or success in the industry. So that came as an attitude. Then they talk about soft skills. Then they named it as behavioral competencies, this all changed. That's why what happened, a career proficiency got changed. It was earlier the career proficiency was called a specialist. If I'm a specialist on one subject, so I will be very successful. I know about marketing or HR, I'm just successful in my field. There was a time. Then a field came, only by knowing about your subject is not enough. So they say that changed to jack of all trades, master of none. And now whatever is come up is something which is called as jack of all trades, master of own. If I am HR, I'm into HR, I must have a very solid foundation knowledge on HR. Rather, I should also understand about economics. I should understand about marketing. And that's how, if you are master in your field and with a substantial knowledge of all other areas, maybe you will have a very good chance. Now, if I ask you this picture and I ask you to form a story, can some of you just form a story by looking at this picture? If you want, you can write in the chat window. Let me see what story you can make it up. Just if you can form a story in the chart window, we can write. If you look at this, do you have the access to chart window? If it is there, just write down whatever you see here, which is called as a projective test, something kind of a projection. Whatever is in your head, I just want that to come out, okay? None of you can write. Okay, that's fine. If you are not writing, still you can think of, because when we take a competency, it is in 3 levels. One is behaved competency. Second is express competency, you write it. Third is competency at the thought level, okay, which is there in your head, but it does not come out. So if you look at this picture, there are very simply what it comes about like this is we say, a minute. So when I talk about a positive story, you can see this person is like any of us. I have written you means it can be any of us. So it can be the profession, and this can be our casual approach to our profession. So mostly, all of us, we love our profession, and our casual approach to profession, most of the time, what it does, it takes our profession from us, and the profession slips from us. We do not realize that the profession is gone. So that is why what happens, the first thing that we should be keeping in mind is our approach has to be professional. And that is one of the things the industries they look for. They find the person to whom am I recruiting, he or she has a professional acumen. And if you have the professional acumen, you can be very successful. As you know, this person is no more, he's a passed away. His name is Yogacharya Iyengar. He has done something which is called Setubandha Sarvangasana, and which is one needs an expertise to do that. And this person can also have done something like that, but it is not the right thing. So what happens, generally a professional, they do the right thing right, and people who are not professionals, they do the wrong thing right. And let me tell you what exactly has been observed when soft skills was on the anvil, or when soft skill was in the industry, and then what changes has happened in behavioral competences, then what behavioral competences you should have, so that when you are developing, maybe industries will definitely think positive about you. This word soft skills, it is well understood than defined and expressed. So one of the group or some of the group of people who believe to be experts in soft skills, they define that actually soft skills comprises of 3 things. If you can give these 3 things or develop these 3 things in 2 years of your journey or your professional journey, then maybe your soft skills will be considered to be very good in industries. One of the things is called as life skills. Believe me, many of us are not adequate to live our life without supports. Sometimes talk to people who are from background of defense. They can lead their life without even any support from anywhere. They know how to live. I tell you how it happens. That's called the life skill is so good. I will give you an example. You can understand what is life skills, okay? It so happened once I was doing a course in Accelerate Jamshedpur. So some of our friends, we decided that let us go to a place, for some holiday. I mean, for some get together, we are just going to a place. We hired that moment. There was a vehicle called as Tata Sumo. So we hired a Tata Sumo, and 4 or 5 friends of us, we actually got into that. And then we are going on the road. Okay, suddenly at a particular place, we decided, one of us, we felt like going to the the call it the nature. So then one of our friend, he got down, and he was there to perform. Okay, and when we saw one of our friend is there, all of us, we got down and we got in a row. We all stood. Suddenly we found a snake came, and believe me, in my life I had never seen a snake flying. So when we saw all of us stood and we were about to perform, we found the snake has come. One of our friend, what he did, he just looked around. He found a piece of wooden log was fallen over there. He took this log and just hit the snake. And the great thing, it could not hit the snake. He just missed the hit. And in my life, I had never seen a snake flying. I just saw the snake flew, and we don't know what happened. We actually, all of us, we got unconscious. So that scene, was so painful. It didn't, hurt any of us. We are so unconscious, and we realize that all of us are in the Tata Sumo, and the Tata Sumo is on the highway once again. So when we gained our consciousness, we are discussing. So one of our friend, now he is, I think he also left the job. He was the dean of a particular management college. He also left the job now. He told, friends, did you see something? We asked, what? He told, see, all of us were wearing shoes. We told, yes. We told, even our friend had a wooden log in the hand. He told, yes. We told, we had legs, we can run. We told, yes. But he told, think about the snake. The snake doesn't have legs, it can only crawl. The snake doesn't have a wooden stick or wooden log. Neither the snake had the boots or the shoes. But still, the snake can frighten us, and we got frightened. And this one statement made many of us to reflect that we are not sufficient. I tell you, one of the B schools, how they taught soft skills to their student. I was a part of that, process where I was learning how soft skills is to be taught to the students. What they did, I'm not naming that institution. They put all their students, and I'm talking about this institution of 2006. Okay, so what they did, they put all their students in a vehicle. They took them to the outskirts of the city, and they dropped everyone over there, took out their mobile phones, took out their wallets, and there was a support team which was backing them up. But the student didn't know that there was a support team which was backing them up in case some problem happened. The students are not aware that there is a support team which is backing them up, and these people, they told you reach to our college. They were not given a single rupee. They didn't have anything with them. And they asked, you come down to the college. Sure, when they didn't have any support system within their awareness, although they were being backed up, they were not having any support system, what they are going to do? They will be applying their own skills, which is called life skills. So whether it is a survival skills, it is an intelligence skill, we don't know. But you know what happened? Students, they reached the college after about 5 to 6 hours. Gradually, they started coming to college, and then the debriefing happened. In that institution, there are 2, 3 people from defense background who were actually running soft skills. And for the first time, I learned how soft skills is being taught. That's why I love people with a defense background, because they can make you to survive in places. Then in the debriefing, it was being asked, so what did you learn today? And believe me, the kind of answers students were giving, students say, sir, if we can survive this, we can survive any damn tough situation in corporates. This is what students they told, because they knew there was no support. They just applied their own skills, life skills, and they came up. And today, if you find people, somebody's life skill is not good, what happens? They go to corporate, and the boss gives pressure. What pressure? All the pressure, when it is being given, the person becomes fragile. He says, job is not my cup of tea, because internally people are not strong. So I realize one of the dimensions of soft skills is, are you able to manage your life because of who you are? And if you can understand, map your strengths and weaknesses, you just can manage it so well. I remember that book called by Sip Kera, where it was written, that one of the chapter, the first book, which was called as You Can Win. He has written a very interesting thing. He wrote it. Understand your understand your weaknesses, but focus on your strength. So he told you, understand what is your weakness. Do not focus on your weakness. And I have seen, since I have worked for a long time with students, for till now, even I am associated with a lot of business schools. So when we are developing students, we see most of the time, what happens when they come after about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they all start focusing on their weakness. I tell you, which is a common paradigm these days. Semester one or trimester one, students are very, very curious about the study. They come for management education. They become very curious. They say, yes, I did something and I'm just going to do. You give them the first presentation, they're so serious about the first presentation. Second presentation, they really, really seek feedbacks from the faculty members. They improve and they do. When they go to trimester 2, 3, 4, gradually the seriousness dies because students start focusing on weakness of everywhere, not on the strength that really can make it. That is why Sipera has mentioned, understand your weakness, what you cannot do. You may work on that and focus on your strengths. If you focus on your strengths, you really can go great in life. And life skills will teach you. When you are in corporate, you are in your profession, you are in your employment, whether you get a support from your colleague or not, whether you get a support from your boss or not, whether you get a support from the environment or not, if you have a strong life skill, you will be standing tall even during adversity. And imagine if you today browse the successful executives in the globe, take any global company and just find out the people who are the CEOs, any name, damn name you choose and you find it out. Read the stories, you will find they have survived a turnaround of the industry and on their career because internally they are so strong they can stand tall in life. So one of the aspects we talk in soft skills is called as that aspect. Second aspect of soft skills is called as corporate skills. When you are in corporate, you will be exposed to certain dynamics. One of the dynamics is called as corporate politics, because every corporate has an internal culture. That's why power and politics is a paper in OB. You will find when you are reading OB, there is a chapter called power and politics, because we must know how to handle that. At any organization you talk about, everywhere it is there. Can I really sustain that? Still, second, if I have a pressure on me, if I have a target on me, can I achieve that? And you know what? There was a time when it was believed that if a person is 100% output driven, whatever is KPI, if the person gives exactly 100% KPI, we used to tell he is an amazing employee. I was attending one of the HR conference where there was a gentleman from TCS. He asked a very simple question. And to all the people who are in the HR, he was asking him, if your employee performs 100%, what you are going to do with the employee? And people told, we will be promoting him, we will be giving him more responsibility than him, and all this thing. Then he told, I also asked the same question to an entrepreneur. If entrepreneur, I mean people who make startups, people who are into different dynamics. And he told, I asked the same question. I told, if your employees perform 100%, what you are going to do with the person, with those employees? And the entrepreneur told, I'm not going to give them any promotion. I'm not going to give them any motivation, any transfer, nothing. If he is performing 100%, I will just train him for more. Because in on a particular day, I am paying him 100% of salary. If I have fixed up the salary is this, I am paying him the salary. So he is working for what salary he is getting. If he needs a promotion, he has to give more. And just corroborate into that, then I got exposed, since I'm a corporate trainer, I got to exposed to a lot of financial companies, some of the biggies of India. I'm a trainer to them. When I saw their performance appraisal dynamics, I found in the bell curve, they say 80% to 100% is average. 100 to 120% is above average. 120% plus KPI, if you achieve your performance, you are called as an amazing, performer, superior performer. And that when I saw, my God, 100% is average. So all of us are operating in a dynamics today where we say 100% is average. If you want to grow as a management student, believe me, you got to always give more than 100%. That's why, a lot of plant, they say we have something called as a plant load factor, PLF. They say if PLF 100% means it is just plant is operating, can we really go more than that? And similarly, each of you, if you look at a corporate skills, the second part that we talk about is you got to understand corporate dynamics and give more. If you give more and you are good in life skills and these two, maybe you will be doing good. And the third aspect they talk about is something which comprises of soft skills, is called as CEO level skills. The meaning of the word CEO level skills means, always you have not been exposed to industry, or maybe some of you might have been exposed to industry. You will find if you're working in any designation and your boss is somebody who is senior to you, maybe one layer or two layers senior to you, when he or she says this task is to be done by tomorrow by this time frame, always we have a question. We say, why is he saying here so? Why is he demanding so much from him? And people, they complain to their seniors because they lack something called as a CEO level skills. That means me being any designation, can I understand what is the pressure of my CEO? Can I understand the vision of my CEO? Can I understand if I become a CEO, what is exactly I'm going to do? The day I start understanding the mindset, the thinking pattern, or the mind map of my CEO, my complaint about working in a vertical in a hierarchy will just be diluted, because I am not working as a micro employee, rather I'm seeing the macro vision of my company, and that's called as aligning your own vision with the vision of the corporate. So that's why there was a day, I think there was a period, whole, about 10, 12 years, when industries, they look for this kind of three qualities or skills in company, in candidates, who are passing out. They say, can this person sustain when the support mechanism in the industry is not there? Suppose somebody is marrying and the marriage get disturbed. Can the person still bounce back and say, yes, I really can do? Suppose somebody has a bad health condition, can the person still bounce back and say, yes, this health condition doesn't bother me, still I can work? So that's why the life skill actually came up to a great extent. Then they say, CEO level skill and corporate level skills gradually. Another dynamics came up, which is called as competencies. So what then it happened? Companies, they understood there are four things which are very essential for everyone to understand. So competencies got combined with something called as balance scorecard. Probably some of you must have heard about it. We say balance scorecard. That means, suppose a simple question will be asked to you in job interview. Why should we select you? What could be your answer? If somebody, I will wait for 30 seconds. If somebody can give this answer, fine. Otherwise, I will tell you. I will take it up further. So can someone tell me, if this question is being asked to you, why should we hire you? What answer you are going to give? I will just wait for 30 seconds, maybe a response. If you give is fine. Otherwise, I will be talking about what exactly corporates are looking for. Would somebody love to talk or chat in the chat window? Would love to somebody put? Okay, good. I think I'm not getting any response. Still, that's okay. Today, what happens, I have seen most of the time a kind of typical kind of answer students have been given, because I think I can do the job. That is a common answer people have given. They say, because I believe whatever your job description, I am meeting with that. And I was talking to one of the a person who helped in headhunting to, and this guy helps headhunting to biggies. He only headhunts for CEO level and all. So he was telling, corporate expectation from students is, if a person goes to any of the field, the students should be able to display certain behaviors for certain results. And the common of the behaviors are minimum 5 to 6 behavior, competencies, which has got behavior indicators. One of the competency, which if you look at many companies and find scan, some of the competencies they're looking for, one of the competencies is called result orientation. So if you are being hired by a corporate, they hire you for giving result. If you are not result oriented in your life, corporates will not pay you big money. So one of the reasons for which corporates are buying or hiring you is for because of your result orientation. Second thing, what they're looking for, your leadership skills. What is the meaning of the leadership? Leadership is not, doesn't mean that you should know a position. Leadership means, if you're working in a team around, even if a 2% team is a 2% team, doesn't matter, okay? If you're working in a team and you find in the team, there are some people who are not as good as the others in the team, can you inspire them to to elevate their level, their status, their competencies, their potentials, and can they be allied in the company? And that's why we say about leadership skills is another thing they look at. Third, they talk about customer centricity. That means wherever industries you are working, do you know who are the customers, and are you is your services are in centric, or it is being aimed to the customers? Then they talk about business acumen. Suppose today, tomorrow, say in the campus or off campus, you get a job from a company called, any shipping company. Suppose somebody comes up and they will be hiring you for the job interview. Suppose there was a company called NYK Lines, which is a very big shipping company, which is going to many of the B schools to hire students. If you do not understand about shipping cargo business and you are there in the interview, maybe they will not take you, because another competencies company they're looking for is called as business acumen. If you look into this competencies, you will be understanding more about it. So one, I spoke about result orientation, leadership, customer centricity, business acumen, and one more you should be actually looking at, which is called as something, communication skills. Communication definitely means whatever language you are talking, do you have command on that? And more than that, it talks about when you disagree with people, how do you disagree? That is why, if you really want to learn how to disagree with people, there is something you can browse about it. Because I'm into neuro linguistic programming. I'm one of that leading trainers in India who does training program on neuro linguistic programming. Neuro linguistic programming is all about using language to reprogram the thinking of an individual for success. So we actually create certain things, something in the mind of the people, which is called modeling. In US, there is a profession which is called certified modelers. What certified modelers they do? And in India, we are launching a course called a certified modelers, where people who want to become a modeler, we will be certifying them. And we are talking to some of the companies, because companies are now going to integrate organizational development, OD experts, with certified modelers. I tell you what is a certified modeler, or what a modeler does. A modeler helps a person to no, regain, duplicate a successful person's qualities. Like one of the business school in India, they approached us. They told, in our institution, there are 10% of the students, not exactly 10%, around 10% of the students who get a salary of around 8 lakhs. But the rest chunk of student, they get a salary of about 3.5 lakhs. And the rest chunk of the students, they get a salary about, you know, around to 1.5 to 1.8 lakhs. They say, what do we want? This chunk who are getting, 4 lakhs, 3.5 lakhs, they should be getting in the bracket of 8 lakhs. That means they should enhance their competencies so that they will get this high salary. What we did, we mapped these successful students. We took their thinking process. There is a technique which is called strategy. In NLP, there is a technique. We mapped their thinking pattern, their strategy. We took it, we installed it in the average students, who can actually start behaving like them. This is the job of a certified modeler. Today, even corporates, they're asking for similar things. They say, I have a company, I have hired, my recruitment cost for every employee is almost the same. But then I find there are about 5% employees who are doing best. Another people, they're not doing best. Can you do something? So, in a like OD intervention, what do? We find where is the behavioral problem. Are they communicating, not communicating? Where is the issues? We actually solve that. And when we punch modeling, we take their thinking pattern and we put it. And that's why NLP is very powerful today, because one of the modeling techniques, all of you know, I think you're aware of a book called as 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think some of you might have heard, aware of the book. This book is being written by Stephen Covey, and that is actually a modeling project. What he did, he studied who are the successful people in the globe, and he found what is that all the successful people they do in common. And he found the 7 things. Think your goal, and at the beginning like that, he found out 7 qualities. And then he realized these 7 qualities are not accidental. Rather, it is being planned, and people they do so that they learn. So he came out with a book which is called as a modeling project. If these 7 qualities can be taken and installed in anyone's life, the person will also become effective. So like that, this modeling project, it works, and NLP believes in modeling. So what I say, in NLP, we have a linguistic pattern which is called agreement frame. That means what companies they look for in your communication competencies, they look for is not that you are only good with the linguistics, but the check, are you able to withstand disagreements in your life, because tomorrow when you go for a negotiation, there will be disagreements. Are you using a frame which is called agreement frame to keep people intact with you? And you just can study about agreement frame in internet, and you can understand that how agreement frame is being used. There is another pattern called as hierarchy of ideas. Whenever you communicate, human being always communicates abstract. We never get into detail. So that's why, when a person is talking in abstract, in communication, if I want to bring somebody into agreement, I have to chunk up. That means I have to take the person more into abstract. If I'm taking the person more into abstract, that gains agreement. And if I take the person more into, details, that may give our unique point of view. So there is a wonderful techniques in linguistics used in NLP. So, companies they look for, does the person handle adversity situations by communicating in a way that the situations start playing in his favor? So that's called as the communication competencies. So the basic 5 competencies, each of you must look at yourself when you are growing. Which the industry expect is result orientation, business acumen, customer centricity, leadership, and communication competencies. These 5, if you start putting it within you will definitely see there is a kind of improvement in your processes that will be happening. And let me tell you something. Since during my profession, I was also into placement, because when I was a professor, I was head of placements for the institution to where I was working over there. So for sometimes I was working in the placement department, and I have been developing students of many engineering and business schools to be successful in the job interviews. And out of this kind of question, because most of the time what we used to do, when a student appears a job interview, the student comes out, we actually keep asking the student what are the questions have been asked to you, and we have actually created a repository out of that. So I'm just telling you about views taken from 83 regular recruiters over last 12 years, and what exactly they are looking for in candidates. When they join the job, or they are being interviewed. One of the things they look for is functional knowledge. So functional knowledge is, do you understand how different functions in the company you are going to join that works? That's why we say jack of all trades. So do you know what are the other departments function, how it operates? So some questions are coined in that area. Then they check up something called understanding industry. So as I mentioned, if you are applying for an insurance company, do you know how the economy of an insurance business it runs? So you are applying for, say, a pesticide company, say buyers or something like that. Do you understand how the economy of that industry operates? If you're getting into Asian paint industry, do you understand how this economy operates? So understanding the economy is a big thing. That is why I know there is a magazine that comes an annual review, which is called Hindu Industry Review. And that in the industry review, I think it gives you about 15 or 12 to 15 industry review every year. If you read that, you will understand how the economy in the industry it revolves, it works. And that's a very good way of gathering information about industries. Even if you are studying pattern of 4 industries, then whatever industry comes to your head, you just can make it up. And today, some of the industries we have very popular industries from AI, operated, or industries which are into e-commerce and all. So there are certain industries which patterns are unique. So do you know about that? Third is aptitude. Do you have this aptitude knowledge? Aptitude is those knowledge which is helpful for you to do a job is called aptitude. Then your scholastic background. Do you have a good scholastic background? This also companies they look for. They look for, do you have an impressive personality, or your personality is repulsive? If your personality is repulsive, they may not take you. They want to check, are you positive? Are you having positive attitude? I have seen in business school there are 2 types of students generally they come up. One of the students, if you give a task, you say in the job interview also, we have seen they say, okay, you will be posted in the interiors. Can you be successful? Some people say, so it will be difficult. My life will be difficult over there. Some other students say, if somebody has successful or somebody is successful in that area, I can be successful. That means you are talking about an attitude. Attitude is your evaluation. So when you evaluate your job as positive, you are being taken in. Then you say open for relocations. They don't want people who just do not want to be relocated. So companies are looking for people who want to be relocated, or they're open to that. Then ability to do the job. That means can you actually give the results? So result orientation is being taken. Your general awareness. So There was a time when newspaper was the major thing, but today, news channels, everything is online. So are you getting it? So right news, not fake news or wrong news. Then they talk about tolerance of ambiguity. If you are under ambiguity, can you tolerate that? Or when you are in ambiguity, you are going to react bad. So if you are reacting bad, maybe your customer centricity scale score will be low. That's why they check about your tolerance of ambiguity. Then ability to network. This is something which is amazing today. In the business school where I was earlier working, one of the girl, what happened? There is a particular industry who had come for campus. When this HR came, the HR started inquiring about, is this girl from this college? And we are surprised. We thought maybe this girl is relative to this gentleman, but he told no. This girl is very good in making networking with people in LinkedIn. And he told this girl spotted this gentleman in LinkedIn and has impressed this person with so many questions, with so many postings in LinkedIn, that the person knew that in this institution this girl is good. And this girl was from Jamshedpur and she was being picked up. And that time she was being posted in Mumbai. So like that it happens. So do you have that ability to network? Are you good with mathematics? Because mathematics is called as the language of logic. If you are good at numbers, you just your logic will be much more meaningful. That's why they think they talk about your logical thinking. Then they talk about your intelligence. Industries, they ask questions from intelligence, your level of energy. Because there was a time when people were working for about 8 hours, maybe less than that. Today, when you talk about work from home, I see people they work for more than 12 hours. Crazy. In industries also, people are working for some long time. Do you hold your energy like that? So, like in the morning when you started your job, the way you are looking energetic, as the day goes on, are you able to sustain that? That's why we say we industry we, use that word called CIZ. That means we say continuous interest generator. Am I that? So are you able to hold your energy? So that is another interesting thing. Then say dependable. Can the industry depend on you, or can the job, people in the workplace that depend on you, or you are somebody who is not dependable? So a lot of questions which are being framed around that. Workaholic, do you really enjoy the work or not? They actually check it up. And then they say, do you behave like a citizen of the organization? So it's the organizational citizenship behavior. And they check your knowledge and advanced Excel, PPT, Word, email, video maker, some video conferencing tools, design, some of the design, because these days what happens? If you are handling a job, you got to give a presentation. Earlier you are getting supports, but today you should know how to go with that. And I know students should know about it. It's not that you do not know. Then they check about your communication and English, Hindi, mother tongue, and local language where you're going to do the job. Can you learn it quickly? So that's what companies mostly they're looking for with the business competencies. And if you can do that, maybe you will be doing it very good. So what they want, they do not want that yourself, that means your personality will be compressed by the role you are playing, and your role generally is compressed by the world you are living. So what they want, even if you are pressured by the role you are playing, the world you are living in, still yourself will be empowered. If you believe yourself is empowered, industry's acceptance of you will definitely go very strong. So therefore, these certain things, I believe if you can put it on yourself, then maybe you will come out to be a very successful individual. So what I can do, since this is in my watch, this is 15:56, maybe I will be taking some questions if anybody would like to ask anything on me. Um, Anything you question you want to ask me, I can just handle it if you would like to. If no question, then sir, we can wind up. Okay.
Yes, students, anything, I mean, just take this opportunity. What Sir has told is very relevant. It's not just for your interviews, but for your success in professional life. Let me tell you, I mean, all these things will stick with you for throughout your life till the time you retire. All right. So, if you have any questions or if you want to understand anything, any particular aspect about anything what Sir has told, right? So you can just go ahead and ask them. You utilize this opportunity. I mean, he's an expert in this field of OT and HR and what he spoke about NLP.
Sir, good afternoon. Myself Swarupa. I'm from first year PGP.
Okay,
Can you be
Sarupa.
a bit louder?
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is is there is any thing that if you have to tolerate such situations, because sometimes if you are a girl, then you are very vulnerable to that situation, that you have to tolerate certain behavior
Can you
of
be a
your.
little louder? Somehow I'm not getting a complete voice of yours, so that I just cannot make it out what you're saying. Can you be a little louder, or can you come closer to your wherever your speaker is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my question is, as I am a girl, then I am vulnerable to the situations that some in the society where everyone is just judging the people from their behavior and all. Then, if my question is about, uh, we have to tolerate every situation patientfully, or we have to react in some situations. If,
Yes.
if if I react to some situation, then what was that in that the person create impression about me, and if he is a senior to me, or a recruiter to me, then how to handle with that situation?
You are Sarupa, right? I'm
Yes,
very
sir.
happy with this kind of a question, Sarupa. Let me congratulate you for asking me this question. Let me tell you something. Thank you, Dr. Subhendu Das, sir. And Sarupa, let me answer you something. Sometimes you will definitely get a chance to undergo a training. I'm writing the chart into the name of the training, which is called as we call it IJAP's Human Process Lab, which is called Indian Society for Applied Behavioral Science. HPL is called Human Process Lab. And the Human Process Lab will be answering you this question. You know what happens? There is a TV serial which is comes, which is in the name of called Big Boss. Have you ever seen that, serial?
Yes,
Big.
sir. Yes, sir. Everyone is
Okay,
known to that.
you are aware of Big Boss, you know.
Yes, sir.
They actually follow the mechanism which happens in HPL, you know. What happens if you have seen Big Boss, day one, people they come together and they know they're all celebrities or semi-celebrities. They're being observed in camera. They know that they're being observed in camera, and celebrities definitely do not want their image to be tarnished in front of camera, right? You
Yes,
will
sir.
find in day one, they all behave goody-goody, or they behave like very positive with others. They help each other and all.
Yes,
As
sir.
their days go by, they cannot hold that outer makeup for a longer time.
Yes,
Then
sir.
the inner personality comes out. And you will find first they will start scolding, then they will be using slangs. And
Yes,
every
sir.
time they communicate, you will find there will be beep, 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 the beep noises being given to the slangs they communicate,
Slangs. Yes, sir. Slangs.
they use, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
this is called a reality of life. Human process lab is exactly like that, you know. So there is no agenda. There is a process that backs up this process is called as transactional analysis, you know, that is being followed. So people, they are together. Day one, they all behave goody goody. Day two, they behave very good to each other. Day three, day four, day five, you know, they actually come up with the real personality. They become very violent, very reactive. They scold people and all. And what happens? People realize
People realize their what the character they hold.
absolutely. So it is being told two things a person should always be matured with. Number one is called as being authentic to yourself. Often we have not learned the science of being authentic. Suppose I'm feeling angry now and I'm communicating with my boss. If I know if I express my anger to my boss, what is going to happen? My job will be lost, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I cannot express my anger, I do not emote, what happens? I will be hiding this anger within myself. When I hide it, I will have physical problems, right? Or emotional problems, or some health issues may come up. So that is why we do not know how to emote out. So HPL, Human Process Lab, it teaches us how to be expressive. If you are feeling something, be authentic and express. But what will happen? If I'm authentic and I'm expressing, and the other person is getting hurt, then
Yes, sir.
I am expressive, but I'm not sensible. So Human
Yes,
Process
sir.
Lab will tell you how you will be expressive, still sensible. If I learn this science of being expressive, still sensible, I can show my anger, but still the other person will accommodate me. There is a science, you know. If I learn that, what is going to happen? I will make my transaction complementary. I will make my transaction interview, or anywhere I go, I will make my relations very good. And that is called as not being reactive, but becoming responsive. So these two key words you remember in life, be expressive and be sensible simultaneously, you will find there is a tremendous maturity which will come in your personality. And that's what, as much as you can do so much, not only in job, we say this is something called as a life skill. Always be successful in your life, because that will hold on people with you. Otherwise, people will be against you. So that's what
Yes,
it goes.
sir. Another question is straightforwardness is it good for your career or straightforwardness? Straightforwardness
One you mentioned straightforward. What is the other thing you told?
is good for your career or the company you work in. Is it good for you? That was my question.
Okay, wonderful. I will answer it in a very, authentic, scientific, raw way. Human beings are less logical and more emotional.
Yes,
This
sir.
always you keep in mind. Suppose somebody has made a mistake, and I will say, you know what? You are making mistakes again and again. The person will not accept it. That is why you will find people that do not accept their mistakes most of the time. So human beings are less logical. If you talk with logic to people, people will not bind with you. They are more emotional. What happens most of the time, we take in pride and say, I am straightforward person. I am straightforward means what? I will say whatever comes to my mind, I can say. But if the question comes, if another straightforward person behaves the same way with you, will you be accommodative? Then the answer is no. That means I can tell anything to anyone, but if somebody is telling something to me, I'm not open to that. That doesn't mean I'm actually straightforward. So what it says that the science or the learning that we get over a professional journey is, how can I communicate logic by holding the emotional connect of the person? If you communicate logic, learn communicating logic by holding the emotional person of a person, then your straightforwardness will give you gain. If you do not hold on the emotion while expressing your logic, straightforwardness will give you pain. So that's why you just decide what you got to do, and you may get matured and communicate, coin it in a way that you should be going for more of a gain. That is why we say, as there is an equation which is being told in physics, that E is equal to mc square.
MC square.
In management language, we say E is effectiveness, M is material, what I know, C is communication. Communication gets squared. If I'm a very good communicator, even if my information is not very stronger, still I will be effective, because human beings are less logical, more emotional. So that's why the, so baat ki ek baat ye hai, how good I connect with people, and that's what it is going to give you all, mileage, growth, or all success in life. So that's what it happens.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sarupa.
Yes, sir.
So anyone else wants to ask any question to the student or the members, other members present over here?
Sir, can I ask another question?
Absolutely, you can.
Sir, in the last that presentation, you have shows the role and the situation and all. Sir, everyone knows that money. Everyone is working for money and for their luxurious life.
Mm-hmm.
In some way, the other way, they are losing their own character,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to suppress their own character to and uh, they transform into the situation what the recruiter or what the company need from them. In
Mm-hmm.
some way they're suppressing the situation, and everyone we see that everyone is stressed out, and everyone is getting tension and get lots of diseases in them, and finally they left, or they quit their job. So
Absolutely.
actually, in this case, everyone they want to just to survive in that situation. So is it okay to suppress it all, or you may because sometimes you have to say okay for your boss, and you genuinely know that the things he was doing is wrong, and you have to ultimately support it. but then ultimately the things you work you do and all the credit goes to your officer and all. So in this case everyone is suppressing their character. Is it okay to suppress or the what the recruiter is searching in us, that the candidates should be patience, full of patience and be creative and be versatile, flexible, and all. Is it okay to be like this?
Okay, there are three things which is being coined in your question, and let me
Okay.
answer in a way so that all three things will be answered in single question. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you browse, I have written something on the chart window as you are
Yes, sir.
talking about this question, which is called neurological levels.
In
In
neurological levels, yes,
in
sir.
neurolinguistic programming, we have a process of addressing to the neurological levels of people. When somebody comes us for any counseling or for any coaching sessions or anything, we run a test which is called a neurological level test. You know what it talks about. An individual will be successful if the lowest level, which is called environment, the person is in right environment.
Yes,
We
sir.
have seen many people, they could not perform in Odisha. They went to Delhi or Bombay. They are very successful. We have seen people, they could not successful in Odisha, but they went to US, UK, they're very successful because most of the people, if our environment does not support us, we just cannot fight against the environment. That's why
Yes,
called fight or flight or flow. Okay. So we choose. So first thing that is why, one of the caliber today in business schools that teach to the students is how to cope up with the environment, how to learn the skills to be successful in the environment. If the environment is not successful or is not supportive, then you got to take some actions so that you can make the situation in your favor. That action is called as a behavior, which is called as neurological level 2. Suppose you do not know what behavior to take, what action to take, then you should improve your neurological level 3, which is called as your capability, because you do not know. So that can be either you are trained, you are coached, you are counseled, you are mentored, doesn't matter. Capacity is to be improved. But you know what? Many people, they have the capacity, but still they will not work because the level up, which is called neurological level 4, is
yes,
not
sir.
support of them. That means their values and beliefs do not allow them to take the action. Their values and beliefs says मेहनत करके कोई बड़ा आदमी बन चुका है, कोई नहीं बन पाएगा. So
The
अगर मैं आज
negativity they hold in them their mind.
absolutely. So
Yes,
that's the this belief. Hard work, smart work doesn't give result. Rather, a shortcut mechanism gives a result. That's why the beliefs and values doesn't allow the person to do. That is why what happens mostly in the environment where we have grown up. We have not been trained the science of positive money making. We have been trained making money means you have to go for something which is called as a cutthroat competition, not a cutting edge competition. So rather than we have been taught how to go for a cutting edge competition, we have been taught about cutthroat competition. And that's why when we make money, we give our brain, brawn, energy, everything to that.
yes, sir.
Rather, we remaining easy with the science of making money. So if we are being trained, that is why a lot of business schools they run something which is called simulation activities to making money. They make an activity which is called as what do you call that? Trade market, sorry, share market
Share
simulations are being
markets,
run.
yes, sir.
Strategy simulations are run. So a lot of
Yes, sir.
simulations are being run so that you understand how to make money by taking moves rather than killing others. So your money making becomes a very positive thing, and money is definitely essential in life. For every generation or every there is a decade or maybe 20 years down the line, certain things becomes important for person to live. There was a time when education was everything. You are highly educated, people will come to me. Our teachers, they're not getting a lot of money. Rather,
Yes,
people
sir.
will come, they will do seva to them. A lot of things are happening and they're making money. But today, money is really essential. So because the society runs with that power, even if you fall sick, you will get a good treatment if you have a financial background. That's why and in this juncture, definitely as a value system, we must be taught how to make money easily without making others to suffer. If that will be trained or you will learn this science, maybe you will be doing very good. That's what is my way of thinking, Sarupa.
Sir, actually, when you are in a competition, you have to succeed the person and who are in a queue. So you have to do that, and in this case, they will be also they also want to compete with you and getting that job or the thing that you want. So
I
that
will give you a very good answer to this. You look for the top 10 companies. Suppose you look for Tata's, you'll find they're not much into competition than the collaboration they make. You
yes,
get
sir.
into any, suppose you go for Baiju's, look for their business models. What they do, Baiju was nothing, right? Today, so many foreign direct investments which was made on the company, you will find it is collaboration of the platforms, like the kind of business we are in. Dr. Shubhendu Das, sir, I think he has a company, I have a company, when we run business, what we do not compete with people. Because if I know I'm going competition or I'm going bad mouth about my competitor, they will do a bad mouth against me. If we do a bad mouth, whatever image we make, somewhere it will be tarnished. Again, we got to fight on that. Rather, what we do, we collaborate. So I know I have a particular knowledge. I know another organization has a particular knowledge. We collaborate. We say, can you prepare a product? That is why today what we have done, it will be very, yeah, I think it is interesting to know. Today only, before your session, I had gone to a place near Kids. In Bhubaneswar, there is a place called Kit Square. I
Yes,
had
sir.
gone there.
Yes, sir.
There was a person who has come from Delhi, and he's an astrologer. So he's a very
Yes,
good
sir.
astrologer. I'm into neuro-linguistic programming, and both of us were discussing how can astrology and neuro-linguistic programming be combined together to create a business model. So what happens? Our orientation is to collaborate. Our orientation is not to compete. And we have seen, people, those that know me also, they know that I do not compete. So that is why what happens, if you can collaborate, your growth is actually faster than if you are competing and going that. That's why over a period of time, when you get maturity, you will understand collaboration makes you to go for success. Okay, so that's what maybe my submission.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. It meant to me a lot, and I I have cleared my all my doubts. Thank you, sir.
So nice of you, Sarupa.
Thank you, sir.
So, sir, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. It's been really a session which was very exhaustive, talking about latest trends of what corporates look for, from soft skills to behavioral competencies, and what were those five. I think the students please note it down. I mean, I hope you have noted it down about the five.
ଆପଣ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ସାର୍ ତ ଗୋଟେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଟିକେ ଫୋନ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ
Of result orientation, leadership skills, customer centricity, business acumen. And yes, we got to learn a lot about things as of neuro-linguistic programming and how our behaviors can be modified, take through different programs, etc. So it was indeed a wonderful session, more so in the backdrop of students now going for campus placements. And I'm sure it would be a time well spent. They can use a lot of things to frame their answers, also inculcate these things into themselves to succeed in their professional career. I would also like to thank all the esteemed guests here, the students today, all the faculty members who have been attending this. It's been not a wonderful session, not only for the students as well as the faculties also. Thank you once more. Thank you, sir,
So nice,
for
nice
having
of you,
joined
sir.
us.
Have a wonderful time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So nice.